Hello and welcome back to Dragon Age the Veilguard. Last time we got a new bit of the story unlocked, which means that we now have a ton of companion quests that are all starting and companions who want to speak to us. So, in terms of prioritizing, we're going to start with these two, because they do not currently have a quest for us. Hello.
Your warden contacts, Efka and Antoine, you think they'll come through?
They'll try.
Well, it's more than we've gotten from the first warden. Where'd you meet them anyway?
It was the Deep Roads. They were there on warden business. Varric and I were after Solus. We didn't tell them at the time, of course. But you survive a Deep Stalker attack together, and you make fast friends.
Okay. Let's now go to Davrin. Yeah, let's do Davrin first.
Sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Please do. I need to hear an actual voice now and then.
Can't imagine why.
I'm starting to dream that I'm a griffin. Squawk.
Nice parenting skills.
Well, you get high marks for effort.
He's toying with me. So what brings you by?
Just curious, really. Wondering what it's like being a Grey Warden. They've always been these legendary warriors living apart from the world.
Don't know about that. I spent time with people who were bad right up till they took their vow.
How so?
Weishaupt is the last stop for the wrong sort. If you're facing prison or worse, you can always join the Grey Wardens and take your chances with the Blight.
Tell me more. What have I got here? We're the wrong sort.
And just how, wrong are the wrong sort?
Thieves, brigands, pirates, and the odd murderer now and then.
Sounds fun right up to the murdering.
At least now they're murdering Darkspawn.
Okay. Tell me about Weishaupt.
I've heard about Weishaupt. Never been there.
It's a giant fortress and home of the Grey Wardens. It's been standing for as long as anyone remembers. At least since the first Blight.
Does it have floating buildings like the lighthouse?
No, but things float up from the latrines.
Fun bunch you hang out with.
The wrong sort have their charm.
Okay. Why is the first warden angry?
Has your first warden always been, well,
A stubborn bastard?
one way of putting it?
He means well in his own way. He's old-fashioned. Tradition is everything. Keeps us disciplined. We never deviate from it.
He'll have to. Elgranon and Gillenane won't play by his rules.
If he even believes in them. The man doesn't have much imagination. Even the right sort can be the wrong sort.
Okay. Let's say you're not like that, because by my rules I have to.
You don't seem the wrong sort.
No one's born a hero.
You're really selling it.
It gets better. When Darkspawn threaten a village, when innocent people are in danger, then we swoop in, swords held high, armor gleaming, while 100 faces look to us for salvation. And they all live to see the sunrise because of what we do.
Okay. Now I get it.
Best part is the warden fighting alongside you. Maybe they've done some bad things in the past. But after that day, it's different. There's some honor in their life where there wasn't before. Nothing like seeing redemption happen before your eyes.
Okay. How do we feel? I think we're very much everyone can be redeemed, everyone can be saved, so everyone deserves that.
We all need that chance. Put past sins to right.
It makes the warden stronger to have people in our ranks who've lived in the shadows. When the storm comes, you don't want farmers and florists fighting archdemons. It takes the wrong sort to put the world right.
Kind of like us, I suppose.
Minus the skeleton butler.
I don't know. Manfred the Warden. Has a ring to it.
How about we quit while we're ahead? See you around.
I don't think he can be a warden. I don't think he has internal organs. How would he do the joining ritual? It involves drinking something. It's just not gonna work. Okay, anything over here? Nope. Well, I have a gift for you.
Good taste.
Glad you like it. Right. Did we get any new library stuff from that, by the way? No. Okay. Must just be when we get a bond up. Occasionally we have conversations with people and we end up with some, like, library content, but not this time. Okay, next person is Tash, I think.
Why do you run around in fancy mage clothes?
Because I like them?
You're barely even wearing a shirt.
You fight Anton with a bare midriff.
Everything all right?
We're fine. Just trading fashion tips. So what I wear is a problem for you?
It's not. It's just... Why dress like that? Are you trying to make your mother happy?
Your mother said something. Tash, leave Nev alone, or talk to us, Tash. Let's try and get her to talk to us. Let's try and get her to open up.
Tosh, what's going on? Something is clearly bothering you.
My bet's on mothers and dresses.
It's just something my mother said the other day. That I act more like a man than a woman.
And you feel like you should wear dresses to make her happy?
No. Can you imagine me in a dress? I'd look stupider than I'd look stupid.
Okay. Kanari can wear dresses. It's not about the dress. No, you wouldn't. Or we can stop if you want. So this one is just I want to leave the conversation. Kanari can wear dresses. It's not about the dress, or no, you wouldn't. Let's say it's not about the dress.
This isn't about the dress, is it?
No, it's... I don't know. She always says stuff like that. About how I dress, how I act.
And?
It feels... right. When she says I act more like a man. It feels... right. Why does it feel right?
Tosh, do you like being a woman?
Nobody likes being a woman.
Ah.
This is stupid. Forget I said anything.
Okay. Okay. Say we're here to help.
If you don't want to talk about it anymore, we won't. But whatever this is, this team is here for you.
I still don't know what this is.
Some of my friends in Minrathas talk about not feeling comfortable in their own skin. As a man, as a woman. I could see if they'd like to talk. Maybe what they say fits how you're feeling.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks. You do look really pretty.
Oh?
To look at, I'd smudge your makeup.
Thanks for letting me down gently.
Oh, just kicked us out here again. Well, I need to go back in the building because we need to speak to Lucanus next. See what he's got going on. Although his... not...
Lucanus? Where is he?
Lucanus has gone missing? Okay. Well, that's derailed my train of thought. Lucanus? Can I see him on the map? That might make things easier. Yes, okay, he's down next to the, yeah, next to the Alluvian. Okay. Interesting. Let's head over here. Okay, nothing there, nothing there. I don't think that's glowing over there. I think it's just shiny. Okay. Let's go see Balara over here. And... in we go.
I cannot say.
Who created you?
I cannot say.
What can you say?
I cannot say.
Right. Deserve that.
Got the archive spirit working, I see.
Rook, you're here. And I did. Sort of. A little bit. It appears, but it won't tell me anything.
You simply ask the wrong questions. A common affliction of the weak-minded.
Also that, it's kind of mean.
Okay, show who's boss.
You should remind that thing who's in charge.
That's an idea. Syrian learned a lot, taught me a lot about these archives. They have, well, not thoughts like us, but sort of pathways, I guess. They can only respond to specific questions worded in specific ways. So, if you're powerful, like almost God-level powerful, how would you talk to someone you see as lesser?
Condescendingly, it seems. Like a jerk or forcefully. Forcefully seems like the best answer.
I'd probably just tell them what to do.
Right. Don't waste time on them, just get to the point. Let's try it. Archive, tell me who built you.
One of the greatest of Elvenan, a steward of her glory. Truly, I was blessed to bathe in his warmth. Anaris built me, and to him I shall someday return.
You mean the Forgotten One?
I cannot say.
Good point. That was us.
Okay. What was us?
What do you mean by that was us?
The Dalish call them that. Forgotten Ones, I mean. I don't know what they were before. You weren't supposed to speak their names or else they'd come for you. Remember the nursery rhymes? You know, unlike the upstanding Gillinane or Elgranon. So who knows what they really were? The Forgotten Ones. They used to say Solus was one, so best case scenario like him. Worst case, well, you heard it talk.
Right. So this thing's dangerous if it belonged to one of them.
Could be, but still important and invaluable. Everything Anaris knew, this thing knows, and my people deserve to know. If I can get it to tell me.
Okay. It is nice that it's recapping things, but also, like, is recapping things for us, the player, because we don't know it. But also kind of being like, you know, remember the things that you should know because you're an elf? It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, we've got, like, nested questions. Ask about the Evanuris?
Archive. Tell me about the Evanuris.
A group of cowards hiding behind their more powerful magic and superior numbers. Their jealousy of Anaris was palpable. Their war is unending. But Anaris will prevail.
Sorry, when I said nested questions, I thought when it was like ask about this, it was going to open up another set of questions. It did not. Apparently, it literally just means ask about this person. So ask about Solus?
Archive. Tell me about the Dreadwolf.
An ideologue and a fool who will soon pay the price. When Anaris dispatches the Evanuris, he will spare a thought for Fen'Harel.
Okay. Do what you need to.
You've got a chance to learn more about our people. Go for it. Just be careful and try not to break anything.
Right. Thanks, Rook.
All thanks must be given to Anaris, for he will cast down the oppressive Evanuris and take his rightful place.
What a shame I can't stay longer. Good luck.
Appreciate the support.
Okay. So, yeah. Got somebody who doesn't like the Evanuris, and that includes Solus. So 2 groups against them. It seems like Balara's basically got what she's doing handled. She's got a plan. She's got an objective. Quite happy to just leave her to it. Right. Next up, we have down here, and down this way, a certain assassin. Let's see what he has to say.
Back, demon! No further! Isn't standing up to them supposed to work?
Let Lucanus go. Don't make us hurt both of you.
What's going on? Lucanus?
It's not Lucanus, it's the demon. It's taking him over. He's trying to leave.
Smells like jam and brimstone.
Rook, do something!
Okay. Let's be stern.
Spite, this man is not your puppet, and stunts like this won't change that.
How did... Rook? Dash?
You tried to walk through the Illuvian in your sleep.
Spite wanted out.
I need coffee.
You okay?
Are you sure you're alright?
This could be better. It's hard for Spite to take control when I'm awake, so I try to stay awake.
You can't just stay awake forever. I think that would kill you.
I'll be more careful next time.
Ah, so that's why he keeps drinking coffee. He's trying to stay awake. Also, he likes coffee, but you get what I'm meaning. That's why he's so obsessed with drinking it. He's got to keep up the caffeine levels. Okay. Can we talk to Spite?
We have to make Spite understand that he's endangering you.
He's Spite, not learning. He doesn't listen to anyone. Don't worry about it. This won't happen again. And thanks.
Okay. Seems like that's just hinting that something might happen in the future. Questions on demonic possession. Hey, we got Lords of Fortune thing there and it didn't tell us anything about it. Okay, anyway. At least I don't think it did. Anyway. Why do demons seek to possess the living? History claims they're malevolent spirits, the first children of the Maker, angry at their creator for turning from them and jealous of those creations he considered superior. They stare across the veil at the living and do not understand what they see, yet they know they crave it. They desire life, they pull the living across the veil when they sleep and prey on their psyche with nightmares. Whenever they can, they cross the veil into our world and possess it outright. We know that any demon will seek to possess a mage, and upon doing so will create an abomination. Most of the world does not know, however, that the strength of an abomination depends entirely on the power of the demon that possesses the mage. This is true, in fact, of all possessed creatures. One demon is not the same as any other. Demons can, for instance, be classified. Enchanter Brahm's categorization of demons into that portion of the psyche that they primarily prey upon has held since the Tower Age. Excerpt from The Maker's First Children by Bader, Senior Enchanter of Ostwick. 812 Blessed. Scroll below in Lucanus's handwriting. Emmerich declares this categorization limited by Navaran standards, and Nev claims it makes the matter seem overcomplicated based on what she's seen. Either way, it speaks only of mages again. Every text says I should be dead or impossible. There must be something else. Yeah, so the reason why it should only be mages, I believe, is that the concept of how you get possessed is something that only a mage could do. Because mages get their magic power, right, from tapping into the Fade, from my understanding. I might be getting it slightly wrong here. But like, it's basically tapping into the Fade and using that to do whatever effect they want to do, right? To achieve whatever aim they're trying to achieve. So, it shouldn't be possible for somebody who doesn't have that kind of potential, because they shouldn't be tapping into the Fade, right? That's the kind of the logic behind it. Like, dwarves should be completely immune from it, like from possession, because dwarves are completely cut off, right? That's kind of the logic that we've got going here. Although in theory, right, given that dwarves are the only group that are completely cut off, maybe if someone's just got the tiniest potential for magic, you know, you could be possessed, I guess, in theory. But it's just very unlikely. I don't know. Maybe not. But anyway, Lords of Fortune, where are we here? No, seriously, where are we here? Oh, it's this one. Tash notes, meeting shadow dragons to talk gender stuff. Writing notes to work through my gender crap, showing to Rook for help maybe. Maevaris, pretty. Tarquin, tough. Both trans. Both open about being trans and said I could share stuff if it helps me on my journey. I did not ask for a journey. Trans means was other gender, then changed? Wait, no, was always new thing, now acknowledged, not changing, affirming. Trans woman is woman. Not feeling right in body is dysphoria. Whole big thing. Could feel like want to be guy instead of girl. No. Could feel like not connected to body. Not everyone does this. Could feel uncomfortable with girls who act more feminine. No, I like girls smell good. But hanging out with lords more than girls. Ashamed of not doing what your gender should do. Ugh. Getting euphoria is feeling right. Non-binary means not man or woman, and feel like either. Can look like guy, girl, neither. Can use she, he. Some swap, some use they. But still single with name? Flynn is non-binary. They are coming this way. Confusing but sure. Also gender fluid. And feel different on different days. Can switch pronouns, don't think that's me. Agender, bigender, demigender, others. Lots of different ones. Not me, but okay. Never too late. Valid even if no words when younger, blah blah blah. Mayvarus saw notes and is mad. Write this down, exactly. You're valid. People will say that you're not enough this or too much that. Do not let that diminish you. No two journeys are alike. That's wonderful. Embrace it. Did you get all that? Okay, fine. Okay. So, I've been thinking about the codex entry we just read, and before we get into it, I want to split it into two bits. First is the message that the writers are trying to convey, and the second is how the writers are trying to convey it. So, let me start with the first one. The message the writers are trying to convey. Generally, in favor of the intention. I think that the intention is good. I think that they are trying to spread a little bit of message, a little bit of awareness. And I think that their intentions were good. But on the second side of things, I think their implementation was not good. I think that this codex entry, and by extension the previous conversation, they were lacking a build-up, and they were also lacking a little bit of weaving it into the story. So, by that I'm meaning the codex entry we just read was effectively a glossary of terms, but with a weird character thing over the top of it. It was just very odd in terms of how it was written. It's like, here are some terms that you should know. Do you know these terms? Please read these terms. It's like, okay, it's a little odd. They don't do that with every issue that they bring up in the game. And a lot of issues they bring up in this game are also issues that you see in modern times. But what they'll do with other things is they'll allude to them. They'll veil it in a metaphor. They'll put it into another story to do with something else, which will lead you to conclusions. In this one, it's like, here's something, here's something, here's something, here's something. It's just a lot of information given to you, and it doesn't feel like a natural way of handling the situation. And the previous conversation with Tash as well, it felt like there wasn't enough build-up for it. I feel like if you're going to have a character moment, you need to build it up a little bit. And I'm very surprised that they didn't use the party banter to do that, right? Like, maybe if you took different people out with you, maybe it was a Nev and a Tash thing, because those were the people in the conversation, and maybe you're meant to take Nev and Tash, and then if you have them together, then it can start to build up beforehand. But the way that we had it, because Nev wasn't available with Tash when we took Tash out, it was just like, oh, here's a conversation. We haven't brought up anything to do with this until now, but now we're having a conversation. It's like, oh, okay. Like, you haven't earned your character development, if that makes sense. You haven't given us a character development moment. If it was different and they had presented Tash as initially being trans, and initially that was just how their character was, right? They had already had their character development before you met them, that would be a different story, because then they're introducing you to a character. Instead, they've introduced a character to you, the character has had a big reveal, but the in-between bit where they're meant to like build up, they're meant to be like, hey, here's a thing about the character, and you're meant to be like, oh, does that mean this? Does that mean this? Does that mean that? You're meant to speculate a little bit, let it percolate. None of that was there, which is weirdly similar to how when we first got Tash, there was very little build-up, right? There was lots of moments that were just kind of like, here's a moment, here's a moment, here's a moment. And it didn't really, like, build up properly. I feel that with Tash, the way that it's written is very odd, because it's not written in the way that the other characters are necessarily. Like, take Ballara that we've had this episode. Ballara's story is much, much slower, right? It's revealing things about Ballara each time you see her, but it's via her doing another task, right? Like, everything's her looking at this archive, or her tinkering with something else, and then a little bit of information will come out. Like, you go and help her with something, and then some information will come out, and you're getting a little bit more of the story, and you're revealing more. And you can tell at some point it's going to lead to some kind of character development moment. Like, maybe Ballara is going to finally get over her brother's death, or is going to move past it, would be a better way of putting it, via some revelation, or something about it is going to come back and haunt her and cause her to hesitate at a moment, and it's going to cause some issue. But you can tell that there's a story moment being built up, and the anticipation of the story moment is good. It allows you to get drawn into the story. I think the problem with having story elements kind of thrust at you is it's like, oh, what am I meant to do with this new piece of story? Like, how am I meant to interact with it? It's just, here's a new fact about the character. Okay, but you gotta actually do something with it. You gotta build it up. You gotta have it affect another part of gameplay. Otherwise, it's just gonna be a random story element. Like, if it came up in a conversation at some point that you could have, maybe then you could drag it out a little bit. Or if you had the player be the one who starts to question Tash and be like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And have the information kind of fed to you through conversations that you have with Tash. I think that would be better than Tash coming to you with the information. I feel like that would lead it to being a more natural feeling for the game. Obviously, in real life, people come to their own conclusions and then would reveal information to whoever they want to reveal information to. But because it's a game, I feel you have to give the player agency in interacting with things. Like, in terms of like gaining information. Anyway, we're not going to spend too much longer on it. I suspect Tash's storyline is going to be written in a similar way for the rest of it, in terms of like things just happening. But I just thought it was worth taking a moment to say, like, my issue with it is that it's not an earned bit of character development, not so much the message behind it. Anyway, I don't want a huge argument in the comments about any of it. Just, you know, feel that the writing could do with a little bit of a like, I think it could have done with a once over, like an extra pass. I actually feel like I don't know if it's just me, the Ravane storyline entirely feels like it needs like another pass. Like, even the arena bit of it is like, did they run out of time when doing Ravane? Because the Ravane is kind of like, hey, we've got this arena. Okay, cool. I've got 5 lines of dialogue and you fight the same 6 enemies. Okay. Like, it didn't feel finished. I don't know whether Ravane was like the last thing they did or something, but everything about that storyline just feels like it could use a little extra, like, touch up. Like the Veil Jumper's side, like, and Arlathan, it feels incredibly detailed, right? And everything, and all the companions you get there are great. Morn Watcher 1 has a cool vibe. Apparently the Morn Watcher story is really good. What's it? Like, Treviso is a very cool city under occupation. Minrathous is one of the main points of the game, as it's where it starts you off in the game. Like, a lot of these areas feel like really fleshed out and good. And then Ravane's kind of like, it just doesn't have the same level of detail in it. I don't know. It just doesn't feel as finished. Anyway, that's enough about that. We're gonna move on to talking to you, Emmerich. That's your name, Emmerich.
Rook, interested in visiting the Memorial Gardens?
What are you up to?
I must tend to some rites in the necropolis. I'd like to show you its more peaceful side.
Okay. I kind of feel like we should do that, and soon. And the reason we should do this and soon is because we haven't got his... Okay, so we need to go to Necropolis. We haven't got his... what's it called? I don't know why my brain isn't working. We haven't got his ability. Yeah, we haven't got his out-of-combat ability. That's the words I was looking... Those were the words I was looking for. So we haven't got his ability to activate things from far away. I think that that could be useful in unlocking some extra stuff. So we're going to go to the Necropolis Halls ASAP. Also, I think we have finished everything else in the lighthouse. Yes, because we haven't had anything else since that Codex entry. Cool, yeah. Oh, journals what it's telling us to look at. I see. Okay, let's go to walking the graves. It doesn't even sound like this is going to be a combat thing, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll take Emmerich and Lucanus to continue their storyline. Yeah, it's fine. Although I don't have Weakened applied, I don't think I need to. Well, I suppose I could apply Weakened. There we go. Although, actually, if we're in here... Apologies, I keep going in and out of the menus. I do try and not do that, but I do it every episode, so like, well, you know, you should be used to it by now. Right, let's head along here. Oh, yeah, where is it? Is it far away? Me saying I'll try not to go in and out of the menus as much, and then immediately like, oh yeah, I need to go in and out of this menu. Oh, it's in this extra area with the door we couldn't unlock. Okay, the door we said shouldn't be there. Oh yeah, last time we made this safe, and now there are people hanging out down here. That's
Everything's
cool.
calm. Looks like the candles worked.
I see some of my colleagues have begun the renewal of the vows.
That's neat. I like it. So I'm guessing that his storyline was locked by us not having, well, was locked by this area being hostile still.
May light and calm guard the vaults of this place.
May the rest of the dead always follow.
Also, I realized that if you chose the Mornwatch as your, like, faction, you would probably already be familiar with Emmerich, or at least familiar with a lot of this stuff that he's talking about, because you would already be doing it. It must be very odd. It must be very different in this area. But still, cool. Set up here and trigger the quest. So I'm assuming it's just going to be us and Emmerich, and this is going to be how to use Emmerich's ability quest. Walking the graves. As Emmerich performs rituals to honor the dead of the Grand Necropolis, the senior necromancer opens up about his past.
Thank you again for coming. My duties include tending to these rites of remembrance. Excellent. Manfred found his way down. Very good, Manfred.
He sounds excited.
I thought we'd start the rites here. A tableau of the dead, commissioned 173 years ago. These lives were flickers against the ages, precious, fragile, and finite. Now they serve as a warning. Don't linger overlong in the gloom. Live with grace and fervor while you may.
Okay. Still getting a lot of gloom.
Not sold on the healing power of skeletons.
It's all in how you approach it. That one's livelier. Here. Who were you when you breathed above?
This body was a tailor's, a mother's. She laughed and taught and wove the robes kings wore when they were crowned.
Tja. Someone must realign her thoracic vertebrae. I hope the novices are inspecting the displays.
It would only be right.
Seems disrespectful to abandon something you built.
Precisely. No wonder there's been an uptick in hauntings.
Wait, what?
Let's continue.
Okay.
So what now?
We light candles in remembrance of the dead.
you might think that. I couldn't possibly comment, but I'm going to head over here and look for loot, actually. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. I'm assuming that these graves must say something on them. I just don't know how to read them yet. But, you know, it is a video game graveyard. Generally, you'd expect that there would be, like, some Easter eggs hidden in it. It is kind of a staple. Also, I do not have the ability to run currently, so I'm feeling our exploration skills are not going to get a huge amount of work here. Can I just leave? No, I don't think there's anywhere to go. Just curious how far it's going to let me wander without the ability to do anything. Yeah, that's still firmly locked off. Hello. Just looking for any loot here. Nothing over this way, nothing over this way. Nothing over this way either. Okay, work our way back down. Continue looking for things. Oh, hello, Manfred.
Examining the graves?
Okay. Let's head up this way. Wonder if Manfred's gonna get a voice at some point. Probably not. I feel like that goes outside his archetype a little bit here. Maybe. And he is a spirit of curiosity. Maybe towards the end of the game where it can't be explored too much. I feel like there's a chance there. Okay, so that's where it links back into the rest of the level. At least in the other place that we need it to. Okay, I don't think there's going to be anything else along here for now. There's a chest over to the right. Oh, I missed it. It's here, apparently. It's at the other side of the wall. It's above us. It doesn't exist on this version of the map. One of the, well, you know, select your favorite of those options. Right. Let's head over this way. Right, lighting candles. Oh.
Would you care to light the candle, Rook?
Okay.
Look at this. The last tomb of the Tannhausens. A very influential family in the Storm Age.
We broke the bones of dragons.
A posthumous motto. Their last heir met his match against a Highland Ravager.
Death by dragon? I'm surprised there was enough to bury.
Okay.
Do you know, I never expected that the door we found back in the Vault of the Beloved would lead here.
So the necropolis actually shuffles its rooms around?
From time to time. Very unlikely to happen while we're inside a chamber. Could you light the next candle?
Okay.
Aha! One of my favorite flowers! A variegated weeping widower.
You know your plants.
Alchemy is my hobby. It's a break from teaching spirit calling and theoretical applied metaphysics.
Right. Just on the side.
This way, Rook.
Oh, don't mind me. Just phase through me.
The gardens being peaceful.
The necropolis has its dangers, but these places are a refuge for the dead.
How many people are buried here anyway?
Excellent question. We rarely should take a new census.
Okay. We'll jog a little bit here. Or not.
You'll need to light these candles as well. Open your hearts to the final day, companion of all the ages. I was pleasantly surprised by your respect for our undead tableau earlier, Rook. I'm beginning to think people outside Navarra find the necropolis a little unnerving.
Well, veil jumpers appreciate the importance of history.
The spirits gather. Only a few more candles. Follow me.
You can find something unnerving and still have respect for it. No. the culture's tradition is unnerving, you can still be like, I respect that they do it and why they do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it yourself, though. Anyway. Ooh, a wisp. What's up with that?
Ah, look here.
Interesting music. Hey.
Hi? Should I say hi?
It's curious about you. We're also enjoying the gardens, but we've one last ritual ahead. On your way, my friend.
Spirits really are your specialty.
I've always had a rapport with them. Even as a child, they were my companions.
After you started training here?
After I was orphaned.
Oh.
A collapsed building, swift deaths. After the funeral, the Watchers took me in.
Oh. So that would be why he has such an affinity for death, then. Lucky you turned out a mage. Sorry about your parents are down here. Let's say sorry about your parents. He probably has a different view on it, because he's got a different view on death. But let's see what he says.
Belated condolences, if that's worth anything.
Always. We move on, as we must, but those long nights linger about the shadows.
How did you deal with it?
I didn't. When I first arrived here, I was terrified.
And you still joined the Watchers?
They're what saved me. Come, the next set of graves lies ahead.
Okay.
Please, light the next candles if you would.
I have done it.
There's much to recommend about the rhythm of a ceremony. It eases our worst hours. As a boy, the Watcher's rituals were exactly what I needed to steady my days with purpose.
And some death magic?
Well, every young mage needs a speciality.
Okay. Ignite.
All this pageantry, this magnificent gloom and its rites, I ask you, Rook, what is it for?
It's gotta be the living, right?
Yes, exactly. This place is an abundance of history, of magic, of memories. The Watchers preserve it so the living may draw comfort from those who've gone before.
Okay. Ooh, Whisper's next to these ones here. Loot.
We must get to the candle, please, Manfred.
You told Harding that Manfred used to be a wisp until you gave him a body.
Yes, he's taken so well to it. Haven't you, Manfred? Here are the last candles you'll need to light.
Okay.
Once you're ready, we'll need to ring the bell.
I'm ready. I can't run it or do anything else here, so I will ring the bell. I will ring the bell.
Let the rites be acknowledged. Our bonds seen and sealed. We honor the listening spirits.
Oh? Hello there.
Hail from the abyss.
We witness, good watcher, faith kept in all our paths.
What was,
The necropolis hosts many spirits. We thank these guardians for their protection and friendship. We'll need to ring the bell once more to close out the departing ceremony.
Okay. Let's do it.
So, you were really afraid of this place as a child?
It wasn't the necropolis itself, but what was draped around it. Have you ever been frightened by the thought of dying, Rook?
Rook? I don't know how Rook would feel about it. I think that Rook's kind of a... He doesn't care a lot about other people's lives, but I think for himself, he probably wouldn't bother him. He's much more worried about other people.
It's part of life.
I wish I'd had your equanimity when I was younger. That's when I discovered I possess a great terror of dying. It goes beyond dread. Can't be reasoned with or soothed over. It comes without warning. In the dead of night, in sunlit streets, a raw, strangling fear struck somewhere deep past the heart.
That's an issue for a necromancer.
Oddly, I discovered I wasn't alone. I debated this fear with friends. I argued with teachers. Yet, it lingered. Manfred's right. That's maudlin enough. There are struggles, but a watcher should always find peace amongst the graves. And what sort of host would I be if we didn't end with some light refreshment?
I have more thoughts, and I'm going to do my more thoughts after this. In a graveyard? No, I don't think we're that worried. I love how with every conversation with Emmerich I think we've had like one of these, like, no, not with the undead, like, kind of thing. Oh, well, we have to. Trying to impress, I like it.
Did you set all this up to make a good impression?
Of course not. I was only...
Because it's working.
Then it's my pleasure to share the tranquility of this place with you.
Walking the graves. While performing rites in the necropolis, Emmerich confessed that he's always been haunted by a fear of his own mortality. The rites brought him peace, however, and left with an even greater resolve to face the perils of the world above. Ooh. Increased healing. Emmerich's ability cooldowns are reduced by 10%. Your other companion's cooldowns are reduced by 10 seconds whenever Emmerich's abilities defeat an enemy. Necromantic focus given to members of the Morn Watch upon entry into the Order. Cool. Okay, so I said I had more to say. That is exactly what I was talking about with the Tash stuff. That is how you introduce a new element into the story. You give us a little bit of you give us something else, right? We're starting with something else. We're simply wandering around the graveyard. And then he opens up a little bit. He gives us a little view into his life. We probe a few questions back and forth. We wander around. He's giving us some general vibes. And then, at the end of it, as you're in the right mind space, he then hits you with the, I have a great fear of dying. And he lets that, and it lets that conversation naturally flow. If we had just started this and he said, I have a fear of dying in his library, it wouldn't have hit as hard. It wouldn't have been as good of a scene as that was. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to build it up. Even though, like, this didn't have a ton of build up, it was only built up over the course of this one section of the game, but it still had build up. It was still something that they let you slowly gather, and that's where that's what I feel the mission with the task storyline, a little bit of subtlety underneath, just to draw you into the story. Anyway, we're gonna head back to the lighthouse right now. There is this new area to explore. Actually, is this it? Never mind. If this is it, then we are just gonna walk over and grab the... Oh, there's more here as well. Bell inscription. Rise now, the evening star. Counterweight to hail desire. Feel the old year's clutching toll mark the banking of the fire. Okay. Wonder how much else there is in here. Now that we've changed that, but... Oh, there's another one here. Laughing youths in noonday shade clasp the harvest hand in hand. Find the shrouded lover's kiss. Pluck the lily from the land. There's a term for that type of poem. It's some sort of... there is a term, I don't know what it is. It's like rhyming something. Our beloved's home. Graveyard inscription. Here's me looking for like some Easter egg, and it's like, this is where our beloved is buried. Oh. Okay. Where's the chest that it says is right here? What's weird is it also says it's on this elevation, which is obviously not true. Oh, let's ring this then.
Allow me.
What do we have here?
Oh. First blown dark before the dawn, sightless gulf of endless sleep. No sound murmurs through the mind, nothing turns within the deep.
It's a meditative puzzle on the echoes of our actions.
You know the solution?
It needs to be discovered if it's to have any meaning.
All right.
These all have different symbols. I know the other way you can figure it out is the first one was dawn, but like S, C, smaller c. That last one's not really like any kind of letter. Okay, let's go find the bells. So this leads somewhere else as well. Oh, okay, that leads into another area. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. Let's look for these. So we're starting with S. So that's not S. I think this one might be S. Has the symbol up above as well. No, so this is the final one. So this is the final message. Here, okay.
How many crow houses are there, Lucanus?
A few dozen. Only 5 I'd recommend.
You've all such a fierce reputation outside Antiva.
Doing a job is different from doing it well. My grandmother knew what that took.
Oh. I wonder if that's the way their storyline's going to go, because obviously his grandmother is dead, whether they're going to have a chat about it there. That'd be interesting. Okay, no, this is the final one. Okay. In which case... Ooh, what have we got around the back here? Flawless crystal. This must be the S. Oh, what's this? Eternity's Witness. Okay, these are just ominous. That's not an S either. Oh, wait a second, I'm looking at the wrong symbol. That's an S at the bottom. Fire in the sands above, stirs the breath and paints the sky, insects flock in golden vaults, shepherds wake and hawks cry. So, again, it's like, it's the next part of the story. The dawn starts, then there's fire in the sands, shepherds wake. The bit on the side is just showing you where you're currently at. So yeah, this is obviously the next one. And again, it's just teaching you to use his ability. Okay. I think it's over here. Unless I am mistaken. Is it this one? I think it wasn't this one, right? No, it was this one. I was right the first time. Laughing youths in noonday shade Clasp the harvest hand in hand. Find the shrouded lover's kiss. Pluck the lily from the land. Yeah, they also make it very obvious which part of the sentence you're meant to pay attention to because they put an extra return in there. There we go. An extra paragraph break in there. Okay, so I think this one is over here. Is that correct? No, this is the final one, as I said like 3 or 4 times by now. That's the final one. So this must be the next one, right? Yes. Rises now the evening star, counterweight to hail desire. Feel the old year's clutching toll, mark the banking of the fire.
Certainly.
And then, the last one over here. Death's new bounty blooms awake, wrapped in silken morning sighs. Golden is your newfound birth, flame eternal in your eyes.
Emmerich? Done in a moment.
That opened up something.
Okay. Opened up this back here. What just happened? Alright, I found a way to get to the chest. We got some armor for Tash. Detonating dragons adds 1 stack to every affliction already on them. Okay, so like obviously when we face dragons, she's the #1 person. The Randy Dowager Quarterly, Volume 2. A strangely ethereal quarterly missive of suspect virtue. Randy Dowager greets temperate without temperance, collecting the unknown vigor mortis, being a spirited necromance quite beyond the pale. Veils have never been so thin, as the question of where one goes is overshadowed by how often one might arrive. The Randy Dowager exhibitions for the noble of thought but spry of step. The ladyship herself says, or the lady herself says, a plot that gives itself away in the end, but when the mood is right, who among us hasn't? 3 scarves fluttered in chalk out of 5. RD. Oh dear, and then the Morn Watch. The Visitation, a folktale. Here's a copy of that Navarran folktale you were interested in, Balara. I heard this around the fire a few times as a child. Many ages ago there was a spirit that longed to see the world where people dwelled. Others of its kind warned it would find no welcome, but the determined spirit set out to see what it could. It first visited a kingdom in the south, where it found people grieving by a pyre. They cried out, "We know you, thief of life, of bodies of peace." They hid themselves, receiving no welcome the spirit left. Next, it visited a kingdom in the north, where it found people grieving by a flaming briar. They cried out, "We know you, destroyer of fortune, of fame, of livestock and servants." They cast it out with magic and the spirit left. Then it visited a kingdom of the middle lands, and found people grieving by a grave. When they saw the spirit, they cried out, "We know you, bringer of knowledge, help meet to our dead." They held it a banquet, and it had it stay for the night. The spirit returned to its brethren and told them of its warm welcome in the Middle Kingdom. So more visited, and the Middle Kingdom honoured the spirits by inviting them into their dead. But the spirits helped the kingdoms prospered. This is how it was told in the old days, and we remember it still. So obviously kingdoms to the south are Orlais and Ferelden, kingdom to the north is Tevinter. You know, with the magic. From Myrna on Rediscovering the Gardens. Dear Professor Volkaren, thank you for your missive. Your discovery of the new location of the Memorial Gardens is most fortunate. We feared the next public days of mourning would have to be held adjacent to the charnel pyramids, which remain disagreeably cursed. I've recommended they undergo a lustration before next equinox. I regret to inform you that a portion of the basalt hypogeum has vanished. Its disappearance was more violent than the typical reshuffling of the necropolis. We will send word if it returns. Cordially yours, Watcher Myrna, Keeper of the Seals. I've finally figured out what Volkaren reminds me of. It's been at the back of my mind for so long. I've just been like, it bothers me. I don't remember. It's Garrus from Mass Effect. I think it's something. It's like Valkyrin or something like that. Or Valkyrian or something. It's a name that's not quite similar, but just similar enough that I'm like, oh. That's why it rings a bell. Okay, well, good to know that the glowy tube takes you somewhere. Let's head over here into the puzzle that we finished. Death Mask. This ancient metal mask was traditionally worn during processions by those with brave and solemn duties. Increases affliction damage. Oh, it's not really our thing, although affliction damage relative to Mournwatch ally strength? It's intriguing. Applying 3 unique afflictions triggers an explosion that deals damage relative to the total stacks consumed. Again, intriguing. Precious Decay Rare Ring upgraded. Necrotic ability damage versus health is up. Okay. I forgot we had this one. Yeah, gain random advantage on takedown and more takedown damage. I completely forgot we were using that, but it makes sense. Okay. Organ Jar. For the Navaran who wants to take it all with them, a jar for storing the heart, stomach, brain, or any other cherished tissues. Okay. And then the last one. A worn handpick. Nothing special. Okay, I think we got everything in here. Cool. Right. Let's head back to the lighthouse. I know we're not done here, but we're going back to the lighthouse anyway, for reasons. I love how it says we discovered 0% of the lighthouse. It's just not true. It just means we've got 0% of the drops. Anyone want to speak to each other? My god, they do. Got 4 people who want to speak. We literally just spoke to you 5 minutes ago. Anyway, this is where we're going to end the episode for today. Thank you very much for watching. Next time, I guess we're going to start with speaking to people, but then we can take our new person who can control things from far away to a couple of spots. One in Minrathous, one in Ravane, and we can see what's going on there. So, thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.